Hello and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Photoshop quick tip. Today we've got one that regards workflow, making our life easier. So many people, get started in Photoshop and they're overwhelmed, and they look at most people's work, and they follow online videos, and they see all these layers and all these complicated things going on, and it overwhelms most beginners, and that's understandable. But to understand Photoshop is to simplify. Okay, as I like to say, the KISS principle: keep it simple, right? Keep it repeatable. All right, and I'm going to show you today one of your best friends, okay? And after today, I want you to make it your best friend, because everything you do in Photoshop is a process, okay? And if it's a process, you can repeat it, okay? And if you can repeat it, it belongs to become an action. Let me show you what I mean here. I've got a portrait, and I do a lot of portrait edits, okay? And so I do a lot of the same processes over and over and over again. And it's time consuming. And as they say in the industry, right? Time is money, right? Work smarter, not harder, right? So here's an example. I've got the portrait, and now I want to do some retouching on the skin. And I go, okay. So first thing I need to do is I need to come in and I need to make a curves layer. Okay, then I've got to, and I'm gonna make this a darken, and going to rename this to burn. I'm going to click on the mask. I'm going to invert the mask. All right, then I'm going to make another adjustment layer, curves, and I'm going to make this a dodge and rename it dodge. All right, let's invert my mask. Okay, one last thing here. I need to change the luminosity blend mode. Because you don't want to change color when you're dodging and burning. You only want to lighten and darken. So I switch it over to the blend mode. And okay, so now I've got these two layers here. Now I've got to let's make things neat and put it in a folder. And we'll call this my dodge and burn. If I could spell, huh? There we go. Okay, so there we go. Now you saw all the work that I had to do and how long it took for me to do this. Okay, now this was just a dodge and a burn layer. All right, so now I can turn around and I can dodge and things. I say, oh well, wait a minute. Now I need a healing. I need a healing layer too. I gotta heal some of the skin. All right, so come into that, and maybe I'll just okay. So I gotta heal the skin and do some blemish cleanup first. So I need another layer. So I'll come up, make a new layer, and better call this my healing layer. So I can do the touch-ups on the skin there. Don't want to be destructive. Okay, and so now you can see as the process is going, okay, I'm going to be building maybe a dozen, maybe more of layers, okay, just doing a portrait retouch over and over. And guess what? It doesn't matter who the model is or what the picture was. If it's a portrait picture that needs touching, I'm going to repeat these steps over and over and over again. Okay? So now you're starting to see why we have a thing called actions in Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to take these layers here and I'm going to dump them all in the trash, and I'm just going to show you here actions. Okay, actions confuse people, and understandable. Okay, because first thing, Photoshop, it hides them from you, right? What's an action? Where are they? And you go, oh, I don't see them anywhere. I don't know how to do that. So you got to go up to Window, and you got to go up to Actions, and you can bring up the actions that way. And this weird little box opens up, and it doesn't look very friendly, and it isn't. Okay, and so the first thing you need to do, get this thing a little bit more room. And you see these three, I call it the hamburger icon, 3 patties. Click that and switch it over to button mode. And that makes everything much more friendly. So everything's a button now. Okay? So this way, you could just click on a particular action. And as you can see, I have quite a few actions in Photoshop that do numerous things. All right? Now, so let's... remember I showed you how to make a dodge and burn layer and how to do a heal layer and all that. Well, you know, I have a fine art dodge and burn right here. And click that and look what happened. It creates all of everything I just did. It created the folder. It renamed it. It makes the dodge. It puts the burn. It changed the blend mode. It did it all automatically because it's a repeatable process. So now I can just go ahead and do my burn. Right? Now, like I said, that was a simple thing. So let me throw that out. I have a complete one for retouching for portraits. So if I turn around and I say black and white retouch, watch what happens when I do that. Look at this. All these layers. Channel mix layers, toning curves, gradient maps, cutting, healing. There's our dodge and burn layers. It's all made for me automatically because these are repeatable steps, okay, that I do in every portrait. So that's the purpose of actions, is to take a repeatable process, record it, and then save it, so that you can use it over and over again. Okay? So that's how easy it is. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually make your own. Okay? Because that's the whole purpose of this video, is to empower you to start making your own action sets. And believe me, it's a piece of cake. Okay? All right. So I am going to, once again, click all these layers and throw them away. And we're back with our normal portrait. All right, so now you notice when I did activate the action folder, right? The first time we had to go up to Window, and then we had to go to Actions to actually get the actions to come up. But now you see, because we've called it, it's now in the sidebar as a little play button. Okay, because you play actions, right? So if you hit that, and it brings up the action panel. Again, if you prefer to work in non-button mode, you could most certainly work in non-button mode. I just don't find it as friendly. But we'll start with this as the default. All right. So let's go ahead and make our own action. Okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to have a process that you already know how to do. So we're going to do the dodge and burn layers, okay? So we're just going to create the steps, record it, and then save it. And then we can reuse those all the time. So let me show you how easy it is. You have controls down here at the bottom, okay? So it's like a VCR in the old days. You had the record, you had the play. So we're going to create a new action right here. Create new action. So we click that. And the first thing it's going to say, well, what do you want to do? We're going to name it our our custom dodge and burn. You could name it anything you wish, okay? And you could give it a color. So if you want to assign a color, you know, like when it turns to buttons, if you like buttons, okay, I could switch it to blue. And I could even assign it to a function key if I want to. So this way, if I want to call this action all the time, I could actually assign a function button to run this action anytime I wish. But for now, we'll just leave it alone. So I'm going to put it in my set of actions, and I'm going to hit record. So now the red bot is going, is signifying to us that whatever we do now, it's going to record it. So every movement, every mouse click, everything we do is going to be recorded. All right. So what's the first step to do our dodge layers? Well, we're gonna go ahead and make a new layer. So we're going to make a curves adjustment. So I click on that and I hit curves. And what's the next thing I'm going to do? Okay, I'm going to rename this layer to dodge. Okay, I am going to dodge is to lighten, so I'm going to change the curve so it's a lighten. I'm going to invert the mask by Control or Command I. Okay, then I'm going to create a new layer. Okay, again, another curves layer. And we're going to do a burn. So I'm going to bring down and rename this one burn. Okay, invert the masks. Okay, Command and Control I. Okay, now I'm going to highlight by holding the Shift key down and clicking. And I'm going to highlight both layers. I'm going to make a folder, put it in a group. I'm going to rename the group Dodge and Burn. And so now we have that. One last thing we got to do. Click on each layer and change the blend mode to luminosity. And there we are. Okay, so I think we are done. So we've created our dodge and burn. We put it in a layer. We set up the blend modes. We're good. So all I need to do now is hit stop. Just like that. So now let's go to button mode so we can just make it easier. Okay, so we now have our action right here, okay, and it says our custom dodge and burn, and it's blue because we asked it to color code it blue. So let's throw this layer away and pretend this is a brand new portrait we want to do some dodging and burning. So what do? Well, we just simply click our custom burn and dodge, and boom, everything that we did was recorded and replayed back. So now we can just go to work. Let's check it. We click on the burn. Look, yep, it's luminosity. Okay, yep, it's luminosity. Notice the curve has been raised. The curve has been lowered. I'm ready to go to work. And that's the power of actions. Okay, and so I want you to think about the processes that you do in Photoshop all the time, okay? And if you find something that you do more than once, record it as an action. And then all you have to do is replay it back, and it'll be part of your toolkit. And believe me, after you get comfortable with this, you're going to use these things continuously. I know I do. All right? So hopefully that clears things up with the regarding actions and that. And till next week, you guys take care.